you can use something called level sync. Level sync is super useful. So there's fates out in the world. I know those are deprecated. I don't need those. There's fates out in the world that you're going to be too high level for. And instead of doing the select button nonsense to get to the level down thing, you can actually just hit this button. You can set a keybind for level sync? Not on controller, you can. Right? Right? So you turn commands that are normally outside of the world into buttons. So when I walk into a fate, I double-click left trigger and then hit square, and then I'm level synced. It's a lot faster than the select nonsense. Anyway, back to Warrior, right? So I have all my defensive nonsense done. It's completely finished. Well, there's one really powerful defensive cooldown that is used super rarely called Home Gang. That is it's 240 seconds. What is that, 3 minutes? 4 minutes cooldown? It's a long fucking cooldown. So Home Gang gets to live at its own little spot. Over here. Where all the biggest buttons live on all my characters. And, you know what? The tank stance button lives next to it. I think that's smart. Alright, so, now we're ready to play Warrior, right? We have all the basics. Well, there's a problem. And here's where it's gonna go, particularly into anybody's personal tastes. We have a lot of buttons to go for, right? So, for example, we have a lot of what's called weapon skills and off-global cooldowns. A weapon skill is the one that you see in the bottom right, where you see, you hit it, it's got a little combo around it, and it has that rotating clock shit, right? To tell you when you can hit the next one. A off-global cooldown is something like Infuriate. You see this big red button down there? You can hit that fucking whenever, bro. And it'll show you a little number when it's done. So you kind of need to place these all over the place, right? So as you level up, you could do one of two things. You could do one of two things. You could go into your actions and traits, look through every single ability, and place it according to where you think you would be more comfortable to have it go. Don't do that. That is infuriating. And I would only recommend that to somebody who is, you're like up to date and you're like planning for the next expansion. No. What you should do is slot them in as they happen. So, for example, let's say I hit level 50 and I got Storm's Eye, which is a second follow-up. Yeah, put it on triangle so that you can do square, X, and then you can decide which one is the next one. But it's easy, right? Like, you can just hit either or. Now, me personally, I don't like Storm's Eye on that spot. I actually like Storm's Eye in the back. And there's a reason for that. For one, it's in the same spot as Storm's Path, just with the triggers. But Storm's Eye gives you a buff called Surging Tempest. And that buff lasts 30 seconds. Which means I'm only going to hit that once every, like, 4 times. So I put it in the back because I realized that I would actually only hit it, you know, once every 4 combos. Right? Well, there's another global that came up that it turns out you actually hit all the time. It's called Inner Beast, which later becomes Fellcleave. Well, Fell Cleave, if you're playing Warrior, is a button that you're going to hit all the time. Like all the fucking time. Like, you won't believe how many fucking times you will hit this button. It's crazy how many times you will hit this button. So, it gets to live on right trigger triangle. Because that's really important. So, you'd end up doing something like this. And now you're just going to Fell Cleave. And then you're going to Fell Cleave. And then you go back to your regular combo. And, like, this is comfy, right? This is comfy to do. But, like, Fell Cleave's going to show up, like, in one more hit. So you want to keep it available, right? But what about the other buttons? Well, you have a lot of off globals. A lot of off globals. And at this point, I'm going to switch to Dark Knight. A character that I know a lot better. So Dark Knight has a shit ton of fucking moves. Right? So you can see that my cooldowns are the same way they were on Warrior. You know, everything in the back here is exactly the same. Living Dead is just like Holmgang. Grid is the tank stance. But shit's going on over here that's weird. Right? Well, first of all, they all have ranged abilities, but they suck and you don't use them very often. So it can be relegated to right trigger. Like so. Right? That's fine. This is a dash that we have now. That, yeah, that's not super important, right? And this move here, Blood Spiller, that's like the equivalent of Fell Cleave, right? It's like pretty much the same. You do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you get a Blood Spiller, right? But what about all this shit? Well, these are all off globals. These are all also off globals. And this is where you need to start making decisions about which buttons you hit the most often. So for me, the buttons that I hit the most often while moving get to live on the buttons. So for example, the Dark Knight rotation, which you do at 100 now, is unmend back here. Hard slash, Edge of Shadow, Living Shadow, Siphon Strike, Soul Eater, Delirium, and then it's Disesteem, Edge of Shadow, Salted Earth, Edge of Shadow, Shadowbringer, Edge of Shadow, Carve and Spit, etc. So I'm primarily using the buttons. So on the actual bottom of the screen, it would look like this. So I'm able to hit all of my off globals super easily because they're all on the left. And basically, the idea is that you want to start building out your character the way that it would actually be easy for your hands to move. I think the best example I have with that is Paladin. Paladin has a move called Fight or Flight, right? Fight or Flight turns into a move called Goring Blade. The way that their animation, their rotation works is that you do 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2. This third one. But you hit this first. And so I made it so that I rotate around all of them because it's just easier to hit. And now I'm in the back. Hit that. Hit that. Hit that. Hit that. Etc. So that my thumb is just moving smoothly in a little circle. Now that's going to be to taste. But you need to actually, like, think about where your buttons are going to go, because you're going to get in a situation where the buttons are going to get placed, and you're like, this kind of works. But, like, what do you actually use most often? Dark Knight uses the Edge of Shadow button constantly. Like, every 10 seconds. So it needs to be on a button you can hit easily and comfortably all the time. Pat, do you have anything to your hands or fingers if they ever feel hurt or off while playing a controller? Got here, so I'm not sure if it's been talked about. I stopped playing the game. Now, everyone's going to give you different advice on that. The only thing for you to do when your hands hurt playing video games is to put your fucking controller down and go outside. Literally just stop. Also do hand stretches and possibly hand exercises, which you can look up, but stop. If it hurts, stop. Also, try to grip the controller less hard. It is crazy how hard Paige and Wooly grip controllers. It's absolutely bananas. I cannot believe how hard Paige and Wooly grip the controllers. You can hear the plastic creaking. It's too much. It's way too much. It'll break their hands before the controllers. What else? What else? Anyway, I have one more tip for every class. And you know what we'll use? We'll use good old Scholar. So Scholar has 1,000,000 buttons, right? And it has AoE attacks and single target attacks. So I have it over here. I have Broil and Ruin 2 and Biolosis. These are my single target attacks. Right, so if I'm fighting something, this is a dot. This is an attack that I can do while moving. And Broil is the button that you can do while casting like that. But there's also another one. It's called Art of War. Is it called Art of War? It is called Art of War. And this is an AoE. But here's the problem. Scholar has so many fucking buttons. They have so many goddamn fucking buttons. I don't have room. I literally don't have room to put Art of War on. So instead, what we've done is we've created set 1 and 3. And the reason why we created set 1 and 3 is fairly simple. So, you go into character config, hotbar config, custom config. Enable customization for when the weapon is drawn. Hotbar 1 and hotbar 3, these you can choose any which ones, when your weapon's out. The only difference, this is me tapping R1. The only difference between hotbar 1 and hotbar 3 is I'm switching Broil for Art of War. The reason for this is because you will never, and I mean never, have to do AoEing and then single target and AoEing and then single target. It's not a fucking thing. No, you don't have to do it. So, are you running a dungeon and you need to fucking, like, burst down packs? Switch to the AoE goddamn configuration. Burst those packs down. Did you get to the boss? Great. There are a few times, like what, Monkey Weed? Like what? Name one time. Name one time. Eden 1? You know what? I think if they're doing normal or savage raids in Shadowbringers after watching this tutorial, they'll be able to change their goddamn mind on how to orient their shit in fucking Shadowbringers. That is a fringe-ass case that comes up like maybe 5 times in the entire game. But for 99% of times, you can use this and it's not going to be a problem. Also, if you do have to quickly switch between, you can just tap R1. It's a single button. It's actually a lot more useful for melee classes. Like Dark Knight has a shit ton of buttons. And they even have an off-global cooldown called Carve and Spit, which is a direct analog to Abyssal Drain. They even share cooldowns, even though one's AoE and one's single target. There's no reason having both of those at the same time. So yeah, fuck it. Have your AoE version. So you can do your AoE rotation. Calm down, Steam. But anyway, that's the generalities, right? Of why you would put all of these here, just for visual. Can you Queequeg, can you show your Dragoon setup for people who want to start a melee? Oh yeah, sure. My level 90 Dragoon I haven't touched in fucking 18 months. Ooh, sure. Yeah, that's where I'm at. There's buttons that don't exist anymore on it. How do I handle it? I don't know. Get back to me in 6 months. I don't fucking know. You know what? We could figure it out right now. Fuck it. Let's do it. His Spine Shatter Dive no longer exists. Right? Those buttons are all still there. Great. All right. You know what? Let's just start the whole thing over. Let's just start the whole thing over. Start the whole thing over. All right. Though you guys can stay. Elusive Jump, you can stay. All right. So I don't know the rotation, so this is going to be real weird. All right. Oh, mention double weaving? Yeah, I can mention double weaving. Okay. So double weaving is something that you might learn at higher levels. It's to optimize your rotation. So the long and short of it is, in between something like Hard Slash and Siphon Strike, you can get 2 off-global cooldowns. So for Dark Knight, it's mandatory for its opener, because you would hit something like Hard Slash and immediately hit Edge of Shadow and Living Shadow in between them. There's an earlier one and a later one. So like this. And if you time it correctly, or have good latency, you won't clip. Right? Let me send you the Dragoon opener. It doesn't matter. I'm level 90. It doesn't matter. I can only give you the Dragoon as of experience as of level 90. So, for example, I'm not done with Dragoon. Right? I do like this fucking stick. I like it a lot. So let's figure it out. True thrust, Vorpal thrust, and full thrust. Same as everything else, right? We've got Piercing Talon, which is going to go in the spot that all the tank shooters are going to go. Lance Charge is increased damage, so we'll put you over here. Or no, we'll put you there. You're important. Chaos Thrust. Oh, that's the wrong spot. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Chaos Thrust comes from Disembowel. Disembowel comes from True Thrust. Oh, you guys are linked now. Huh. Well, that's interesting. So True Thrust here goes to these two. Hey man, it's been a while. Give me a break. Alright, so you'd be doing this. Right? Yeah. Right, okay. So you would be doing it like that. Now, Battle Litany is something you're going to pop early every time, so you probably need to live over there. And I know Life Surge still exists. Where's Life Surge at? There you are. You need to live on the right D-pad because you happen all the time. Oh yeah, the other display action for the action menu? Yeah, let's see it. Yeah, here it is. This will show you your combos, which is actually pretty interesting. Like, somebody like me who remembers all that shit doesn't really need it, but it is cool. Like, it shows you Doom Spike goes into Sonic Thrust, goes into Girth and Torrent, for example. Huh, it's interesting that I ended up putting all of them, again, in the same spots. Alright. Anyway, back to this. Don't need a second True Thrust. Don't need it. That's stupid. So, if I'm gonna go to the left combo, it'll be this, and then this, and then this. Alright, and of course, if you want to use life... Oh, that's the one. If you want to use life thrust, it'll be this, and then right on the D-pad, and then life surge. Strange move. Don't really care for it, honestly. Don't really like life surge. Feels like a big waste. Alright, moving on. What else do we have equipped? Piercing Talon, Fang and Claw, and Wheeling Thrust. Potency of 100 from the flank. Potency of 100 from the target's rear. And that comes off Chaotic Spring. Well, if it comes off Chaotic Spring, then we should put it up here. If this comes off Piercing Thrust, then we should put it up here. So we should probably actually have a full rotation here. So we would have... And you would do this, but that would be from the side, and then this would be from wherever. Okay. Yeah, so this is how I would do it. So that you're rotating the fuck around. Right? Just rotating the whole fucking way around. Just back and forth. Now, obviously, the problems are going to come in when I have my off globals. Right? Because I don't know what any of them are. So I know that I need, you know, Lance Charge and Battle Litany and shit like that. But, what about... Elusive Jump. That's this. That's not super important. Oh yeah, no, I haven't covered positionals for beginners because I play tank, so I would never have thought of them actually. But let's continue. Winged Glide. Oh, that can go live in the same spot that the tank version goes to live. Dragonfire Dive. 120 cooldown. Well, that is just like Living Shadow, isn't it? So I basically have my tank shit, and I just try and create everything to be a similar setup to the tank. Gerskogel's there. You cast Gerskogel a lot. Like a lot. But you also cast Mirage Dive a lot. So we're going to take this off. Put Gerskogel there. Put you there. No. You? No. Yeah. Oh, I just realized I don't even have jump on this shit. Don't even have jump on it. That's pretty fucking funny. Ooh, Dragoon's weird now. Where would I want to put jump? How would I do this? Wait, Mirage Dive happens after... Oh, jump just becomes Mirage Dive. Or... high jump becomes Mirage Dive. So if I put... Oh, it's one button now. Well, that's great! That's just a great little cleanup, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep that there. And just switch it over and just have one less button. So Gerskogel will go live over there, actually. Because I love it. I love Gerskogel. And now it's Nastron. Well, you can cast a lot of Nastrons now. Holy shit! That's fucking crazy. If I put Life Surge over here, huh? What would happen if I did that? That would be a lot better, actually. That'd be a lot better. Then I can hit this. Oh no, Nastron needs to go live on this. That's too important. Okay. So, Life Surge, you can live in the back because you're always going to be cast. Always going to be cast. Always going to be cast. After that. Okay. What else we got? You put Life Surge next to Full Thrust? Well, that's crazy. Stardiver has its own button. Because why not be difficult, huh? Why not be difficult as fuck? Well, you can go live under Gerskogel. Why? Because that makes sense in my fucking brain. So I'd be doing what? This? Oh, I fucked it. Stardiver has a follow-up now? Yeah, okay. I don't know how I feel about New Dragoon. I would need a lot more time to figure out where these go, considering this, the reality of the rotation. Because this is complicated to actually to fit on here. All right, because part of me wants to do something like this, where the rotations are actually over here. Because what would I get? I would get something like this. Right? It's like, oh, because it's on the left side. And then I would just cast this. And then I go to the bat. Oh, now it's over here. And I can just mash this the fuck out. This is probably what I would end up doing. Because it makes sense to me to have these positionals on the left and top. Okay. Don't forget the 90 ability. Hey, guess what? I totally did. Shit, it's gotta go live up there. It's the only place for it to go. Huh. Rise of the Dragon. It's just a new button. Wait, no, that's not a new button. It is just a new button. How come it only had... Wait, what's the button that this turns into? Is that Starcross? Dragonfire follow-up. Wait. And then Starcross is a Stardiver follow-up. Oh, so they don't even get new buttons. So you can just plan this whole thing out. Though I am missing a buff. Somewhere. Where's Worm's Blood? Oh, does that no longer exist? Dragon's Eye is dead? Okay. Alright. Also, of note to people that are playing... anyway, apologies for that that wild tangent. One of the things that you'll notice written on some moves is called positional requirements. So this will say attack with potency of 100 versus 140 from a flank. And this will say potency of 100 unless it's 140 from the target's rear. It's really simple. If you look at the target on anything, this section on the side, this like cross section that would be like, you know, like imagine a pizza of 4 pieces. This is the flank. This is the rear. So when you're playing something like Dragoon, where some of the moves want you to be flanked, like this one, does more damage from the side, and other moves are going to be stronger from the back. How important are positionals? It obviously depends on your particular character. Try and hit them as often as you can. If you can't hit them, there is a roll action which will nullify the requirements for 10 seconds. Like if you're just not going to be able to have it. The difference between this being positional or not is 40 potency. Sometimes you don't get certain resources for not hitting your positionals. You should try. It is not the end of the world, but you should try to hit your positionals. All right. I have run out. There are also bosses that have no positionals and they just have a solid targeting ring. I have run out of train of thought, so I am opening up the floor to any questions you might have. I'm going to go into the donations and see if you guys have any questions in there. Dr. Flatface subscribed to say, think they'll ever change the starting jobs available ever for any minion? No. Sorry, any reason? No. Okay. How about simple gathering and crafting stuff if you're keen? Alright. So, ignore my horrible monster face. But basically, you have two things. You have gatherers, which are miner, botanist, and fisher, and you have disciples of the hand, which are crafters, which are carpenter, blacksmith, armorer, goldsmith, leatherworker, weaver, alchemist, and culinarian. Let's switch to miner. Now let's switch to botanist, so I don't have to say the word miner over and over and over. So, why would you mine? Or hit plants? Well, you would hit plants so that you can build stuff with your crafter, right? What are the purposes of crafting? Well, there's two reasons. One, this coat that I have can only be crafted, and it's pretty nice. The second reason is to make yourself good gear. So, the crafting cycle would be as thus. You grab miner, or botanist, or fisher. Then, you go out into the world. Then all of them, or the first two, will have the ability that is Arbor Call, or its equivalent. Then you'll take your mount over to where it will teach you to where the rocks or trees are at, such as this. You'll click on it. You'll see that there are many of these delicious tomatoes, or fire shards, which I might actually want. You'll enable quick gathering. This will auto gather for you. You'll click it. That's it. Now, there's a lot more to be done here, but most of that is not going to be until you're at a higher level. Now, the question is like, why the fuck would you have done that? Right? Well, then you go over to your crafter. So let's go to a blacksmith, for example. Let's say you're just starting out, and you want, oh, I don't know, a new sword for your paladin. A Viking sword, if you would. Well, it requires a bronze ingot, leather, and a bone chip. You then hit square on this, search for recipes, then use it. You can sit around it to search by crafting method, only to find out you need copper and tin. You'll then hit square, search by gathering method, and go to copper. And then you're going to be like, God damn it. That's a lot of sub-menus to go through. That's too many. So you're going to hit Windows and go to Chrome. And type in Garland Tools. That is GARLANDTOOLS/DB/. Then you're going to load up window capture. So that people can see what the fuck you're talking about. Mm-hmm. There you go. So you're going to go to Garland Tools. Then you're going to go, I would like a Viking sword. And click on this. It'll tell you it. Look at that. Look at all that shit. Then you're going to go to crafting.